A stolen car speeding through a quiet Dublin street. It didn't stop. It hit Mikey Farrell. He was thrown across the road. But here's the shocking part. The car wasn't stolen by adults. It was teens. Barely 15 years old. And this wasn't a one-off. It's happening all over Dublin. Teenagers stealing cars, joyriding, and filming it all. What's worse, they're getting away with it. And the cops? They can't keep up. Let me show you what's really happening behind the scenes. It started with just a few teens, maybe 3 or 4. They weren't anything special. Just regular kids, barely 15 years old. At first, they weren't out to cause chaos. It was all just for fun. They'd steal a car, go for a joyride, and feel that rush. But soon, that thrill wasn't enough. The gang grew. First 6, then 12, then over 60 kids across Dublin. They were no longer just joyriders. They started targeting neighborhoods, choosing places at random, hitting suburbs from Navan to Newbridge. They weren't after money. They wanted status. The more expensive the car, the higher their street cred. And they filmed it all. GoPros, phones, TikTok, everything went viral. It was no longer just a few kids sneaking out at night. It became a game of who could pull off the wildest stunt. But how did a few teens with nothing to lose turn into a nationwide crime wave? And why do they keep getting away with it? You won't believe what's coming next. You might think it's just a few teens running around, stealing cars for kicks. But when you dig deeper, you see something far more organized, and it's not just happening by accident. The Lucky Dip gang doesn't just steal cars. They've got a playbook. And it's not like anything you've seen before. It all starts with their method, and it's simple: randomness. No long-term planning, no specific target. One of them will grab a burner phone, open Google Maps, and just start scrolling. They pick a town anywhere in Dublin, Meath, or even as far as Tullamore. Could be any place. The whole point is that there's no pattern, nothing predictable. They're almost like ghosts just appearing out of nowhere. Now, imagine this. There's a crew of 4 to 6 kids ranging from 14 to 17 years old, and they're all packed into a stolen car. Some might be watching for cops, others keeping their heads down, and a couple of them getting ready for the real job, stealing cars or breaking into houses. They aren't even trying to make money off this. It's not about resale. It's about the thrill. And the street cred that comes with it. The more daring the act, the higher their reputation grows. The more dangerous the ride, the bigger the bragging rights. So here's how they do it, step by step. They roll into the town, sometimes in stolen BMWs or Hyundais, all revved up and ready to go. They're fast and they know it. The goal is to get in and get out in under 10 minutes. Fast, efficient, no mess. They're in and out before anyone even has time to realize what's happening. The moment they pull up to a driveway, one of the kids jumps out, gloves on, hood up, scanning the area. They're looking for a target. A house. A car. Something worth taking. And this is where they get crafty. Most of these homes have keyless entry systems. They know how to hack those. With a small relay device, they can spoof the signal and unlock the car from the street, all while standing there in the shadows, barely noticed. If that doesn't work, they don't hesitate to break a window. It's quick. It's loud. But they don't care. Speed is everything. Let's say they get into a house. Again, they're not looking for cash or jewelry. It's not about taking things of real value. It's about the car keys, the keys that can get them into the next stolen car. Game consoles, laptops, and phones are also on the list, but those come second. They'll grab whatever's easy and quick. Once they've got the car keys or whatever they need, they're gone. But here's the thing, sometimes it doesn't go as smoothly. Sometimes the cops show up, and that's when the real chaos starts. By the way, if you have enjoyed the story so far, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video, as it will encourage us to create more videos on UK organized crime. These kids don't panic. They don't fear getting caught. They love the chase. In fact, it makes them feel invincible. The second a car chase starts, they floor it. They know they're being followed, but they also know the cops can't pursue too aggressively because they're kids. No one wants to risk a crash. So they weave through neighborhoods, cutting corners, swerving through estates, dodging every roadblock the cops throw their way. At times, they'll go the wrong way down motorways, like when one of them went down the M50 driving against traffic, putting everyone in danger. They don't care. The faster, the crazier, the better. It's just part of the thrill. Some of these kids are barely old enough to drive, and they're behind the wheel of stolen cars, laughing into their phones while driving 160 kilometers per hour. They want the adrenaline. They want the thrill. But more than that, they want the fame. The likes, the comments, the followers. And when they finally get away from the police, they don't just vanish into the night. No, they have one last step: they burn the car. They'll torch the vehicle, wipe down any fingerprints, destroy everything. The smell of melted plastic becomes their trademark. It's like a sick calling card. Another night, another stolen car, and the cops are left with nothing but ashes. But here's where things get even crazier. What happens when they don't get away? When the cops finally catch up to them, things go south fast. One of the gang members was rammed into a ditch by a patrol car, and he tried to run. Another was tasered while trying to flee through a school field. The moment they get caught, it's never about the money or the car anymore. It's about the footage. They're wondering if they got the whole chase on camera. Phones out, filming every second. Because the real goal isn't getting away, it's getting those videos up online. They're running from the law, but they're also running toward fame. And that's what's really dangerous. They're treating this like a game. But the stakes are real and the consequences are too. So, here's the million-dollar question. How long can the gang keep this up? They're getting more reckless. The stakes are getting higher. And it's not just the joyrides anymore. Something bigger is coming. You won't believe what happens when the gang decides to take their crimes to the next level. You think it's just stealing cars, right? A couple of joyrides here and there. But it's way worse. These kids are 14 to 17 years old, but they're driving like they own the roads. It's more than just risky. It's dangerous. In one chase, a stolen car went the wrong way down the M50. Think about that. On a busy motorway, wrong way. At 160 kilometers per hour. No fear. No hesitation. Just chaos. It was a miracle no one died. But these kids aren't scared of death. They're scared of nothing. Not the cops, not the crashes. Not even the people they put in danger. Their cars are flying through tight estates, swerving around greenways, cutting through any space they can find. They don't stop for stop signs. They don't care about pedestrians. Sometimes they'll smash through checkpoints, like they did in one chase where the cops had to fall back to avoid a crash. But that's exactly what the gang wants. They know the police can't chase them hard. And then when they get away, they don't just disappear into the night. No, they torch the car. Set it on fire. Wipe away the evidence. Every trace gone. The smell of melted plastic is the only sign left. But here's the worst part, they think it's fun. The more dangerous the ride, the bigger their reputation. They'll post videos of it all. Car chases. Speeding. Smashing windows. They film it all. It's like their own personal highlight reel. They get likes, comments, and followers. And that's what makes them bold. They're living for the clicks. And that's why they keep pushing it further. But it's not just about stolen cars anymore. One person is already dead. Mikey Farrell. And there will be more. You know it. They've crossed a line now. And it's just a matter of time before their reckless behavior catches up to them. But what happens when the law finally catches up with them? Is there any way to stop them before someone else gets hurt? The cops are trying, but they're fighting an uphill battle. Every time they catch one of these kids, another one pops up. It's like playing whack-a-mole. And these kids? They're clever. They know how to get away. The real problem isn't just the chases. It's the system that's failing. The gang might be full of teenagers, but they've learned the system and they're exploiting it. Take the bail system, for example. These kids get caught, arrested, and then released. What? Because Ireland's juvenile detention centers are overcrowded. One source even admitted that some of these teens are back on the streets within hours, sometimes even before their next court date. A few hours behind bars and then they're out, free to steal again. And it's not just a one-off problem. The Lucky Dip gang has 60+ active members. And they're growing. New kids join every week, eager for a piece of the action. Even when they do get caught, it's only a temporary setback. Some of these kids are under 16, and they know the rules. They don't get the same consequences as adults. They know how to stay out of jail. They're smart about it. But here's where it gets tricky. The police are under pressure. They can't pursue the kids too aggressively. They have pursuit protocols that limit how fast and how hard they can chase. It's all about public safety. But the kids? They know exactly how to use that. They'll dart through estates, cut through alleyways, and take sharp turns just to get away. It's a game to them. But what about when the system fails them? When the laws don't work in the police's favor? What happens then? It's not just about the cars. It's not even really about the stealing. These kids, 14 to 17 years old, have figured out something bigger. Social media is their stage and every crime is a performance. Before we continue, don't forget that what you are watching took us hours of both research, editing, and voicing to able to get it across to you. We plead that you show us your support by just subscribing to this channel and liking this video, as it will encourage us to create more video like this. Thank you. They steal cars, break into homes, and then they film it all. They know the power of TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever they can get their hands on to get noticed. Every time they pull off a stunt, they post it. Every high-speed chase becomes a viral video. The more dangerous the stunt, the more views they get. And for them, that's everything. They want status. They want to be seen as the bravest, the boldest. A stolen BMW, a high-speed chase through quiet suburban streets, a near miss with a checkpoint. These moments don't just get them fame, they get them street cred. One video posted by a 16-year-old had over 40,000 views in just a few hours. He was laughing, swerving around a stinger deployment, barely missing a spike strip, all while screaming into the camera. The comments? Full of laughing emojis, flames, and taunts. They live for that. The more they risk, the more the internet rewards them. But here's the catch, it's not just fun and games. As they rack up followers, they're recruiting more kids into their world. It's a cycle. The more views they get, the more other teens see it and want in. They join, they steal, they film, and the loop repeats. They're growing in numbers, and it's all happening under the radar. The police? They're always behind, chasing after the next viral stunt while the kids are already planning their next big hit. But here's the question, how far will they go? Will this dangerous game of social media fame keep spiraling out of control? And when it does, what's the real cost? We're about to dive into that next, and trust me, it's bigger than you think. It's not just the police who are worried. The neighborhoods are scared too. You can feel it in the air. People are locking their doors tighter, double-checking their car alarms. Parents are telling their kids not to park in driveways, afraid the next target could be them. In places like Ballyfermot and Blanchardstown, people live in constant fear. These kids, 14 to 17 years old, have turned their neighborhoods into war zones. And it's not just the stolen cars. It's the chaos they bring with them. Screeching tires, high-speed chases down quiet streets, and the sound of a car crashing into a wall. Every night it feels like a countdown. 9 separate car chases in one weekend? That's no coincidence. That's a pattern. The fear isn't just about the crimes. It's the unpredictability. One night it's a stolen car. The next it's a high-speed chase with innocent people dodging out of the way. But here's the kicker, this isn't just happening in the dark. It's in the open. Videos of their stunts are posted online for everyone to see. They taunt the police. They show off their wild rides. And people watch. Neighbors aren't just afraid, they're also angry. After Mikey Farrell's death, protests erupted. People are demanding action. They want stronger policing. They want the gang stopped. But the truth is they're not sure if anyone can stop it. But the question is, will the pressure from the community force any change? Or is it too late? Next, we'll see what happens when the system faces this growing crisis head-on. The Lucky Dip gang isn't slowing down. If anything, they're getting bolder. More teens are joining in. The gang has grown to over 60 active members and it's spreading fast. What started with just a few local kids is now a network that stretches across Dublin and even further. 14 to 17-year-olds are the backbone of this group, and they're getting more dangerous by the day. Here's the problem, the law can barely keep up. The catch-and-release system is working in the gang's favor. Kids get arrested, go to court, and are out again, sometimes within hours. The reality is, there are just not enough juvenile detention centers to handle them. The only one in Ireland, Oberstown, is already overcrowded, and even when these teens are held, it's only for short periods. This has allowed the gang to operate with impunity. The more they steal, the more their myth grows. They're outsmarting the system. They know how far they can push before the law backs off. The public is demanding change. After Mikey Farrell's death, people are furious. They want the gang stopped and they're tired of hearing about catch and release. Parents are terrified for their kids. Communities like Ballyfermot are on edge every night. But even as anger grows, the system seems stuck. There's pressure on the police to act. But what can they really do when these teens know exactly how to stay out of jail? And how do you stop a group that's constantly evolving? The Irish government is under pressure. There are calls for reforms, but the question is, what kind of reform will work? More policing? Tougher detention laws? Or is there a different solution? Some experts suggest that it's not just about locking these kids up. They say early intervention is key. Youth programs, mentorship, and community support might be the only way to break the cycle. But can that work with a gang that thrives on fame and chaos? The real question is, will the system act fast enough to stop them before someone else dies? Or is this just the beginning of an even bigger problem? Next, we'll look at what real solutions might look like, and whether Ireland can turn the tide before it's too late. The Lucky Dip gang is leaving a mark on Dublin, and it's a dangerous one. What started as a group of 14 to 17-year-old teens looking for a thrill has grown into a nationwide phenomenon, a gang that's not just about stealing cars, but about challenging the very system that's supposed to stop them. They've outsmarted the law, they've made a game of evading capture, and they've done it all while broadcasting their chaos for the world to see. This gang isn't just about crime, it's about status. They steal not for money but for fame. Every car they snatch, every high-speed chase, every video posted online adds to their growing legend. They're not just running from the law, they're running towards something bigger, something they can't let go of. The rush of adrenaline and the viral recognition that comes with it. And the more they get away with it, the more emboldened they become. But with every stunt, every chase, they're pushing the limits of what they can get away with. And one day it's going to come crashing down. The question is, will it be too late by then? The police, the courts, and the public are all struggling to keep up, and for now the gang is winning. The catch-and-release cycle, the overcrowded detention centers, and the systemic failures in juvenile justice are only fueling their rise. What was once a small problem has turned into a much larger issue that's spreading. As more kids join in, the Lucky Dip gang grows stronger, more reckless, and more unpredictable. But here's the thing. This isn't just a story about teens breaking the law. It's a story about a system that's broken. A justice system that can't handle this level of youth crime. A police force that's forced to chase after them without the proper tools to truly stop them. And a society that's struggling to understand how something like this could happen in the first place. The real question is, can Ireland break the cycle? Can they stop the Lucky Dip gang from growing even more dangerous? Or is this just the start of a bigger wave of youth crime that will spread across the country? What happens next might surprise you. There's still hope, but the clock is ticking. The Lucky Dip gang isn't just another group of reckless teens. They're a symptom of a deeper problem, one that we've all seen but few are willing to confront. These kids, 14 to 17 years old, aren't just out there stealing cars. They're out there showing the world that they can do whatever they want without fear of real consequences. They're not scared of the police. They're not scared of getting caught. They know the system can't hold them. And that's the scariest part. But this isn't just about them. It's about all of us. We're living in a world where kids are getting younger and younger, running wild, doing whatever it takes to get attention. And we just sit back and watch. You might hear this and think, that's crazy. I don't live in Dublin. I'm not a part of this. But here's the thing. This gang is just a reflection of something bigger. If we don't do something now, if we don't start facing the real issues here, youth crime, broken systems, and social media addiction, we could be facing this on a much larger scale. Most people will watch this, agree with it, and go back to their comfortable lives. They'll change nothing. But the few who take action? They're the ones who start to make a difference. They'll look at the real issues, dig deeper, and push for change. So here's what I want you to do. Take a moment and think. What kind of world do you want to live in? A world where chaos runs wild, or a world where we face the problem head-on and start solving it? If this video resonated with you, take action. Comment below and tell me what you think, because I'm reading every single one. If you think this is worth sharing, hit the like button and send it to someone who needs to hear this. Don't wait. The clock's ticking. The next generation of kids out there might be watching us right now, waiting to see if we'll step up. Want more insight on how we can stop this? Check out the next video about the Kinahan cartel and how they ruled the underworld.